Hello there YouTube, Elita Legionarii right here, and today I'm bringing you a 3v3 for Medieval 2 Total Wars. The 3v3 I did, well, a few weeks ago now. I usually don't always upload straight away, so I might be even up to weeks behind by the time I've uploaded, simply because I've got a lot of other uploads with all the Total War games, and with that secondary channel I started, further delayed, so like I said, a 3v3. I'm playing as England. My allies are SwedishLandSkekt-Sicily in this one, and AceofDave-Russia. So, can't remember the name of this map, but we got the better side of it. So if we look at it from this side, it's definitely in our favour. However, it's not so drastically bad over here if the Byzantine and the Holy Roman Empire player would focus into the centre. The Venetian player's got the biggest disadvantage. So my army, before it starts, is I've got my peasants, 3 up the front as my main shield, which is typical of me. Then I have, I believe it was 6 armoured swordsmen, and then a dismounted English knight on each flank, and then it was 4 units of longbowmen. For cavalry, I have a general's bodyguard, and Knights Hospitaller. That's my army. Swede's army is 2 Norman knights and a mounted crossbowman on his left flank. He's got 2 more Norman knights on his right. Then he has infantry. He's got 2 dismounted men-at-arms, 3 dismounted Norman knights, 2 sword and bucklers, a general's bodyguard back here. Here's got 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Palace crossbowmen and 3 light militia. So he's just going to skirmish the Holy Roman player forward, because as you can see his allies are quite far away from him, so if we can kind of bring him forward he'll be trapped. And Dave's army is 2 Sars Guard, 3 dismounted boar, 4 dismounted boar sons, 2 bodyguard, and 4 cavalry. Byzantine player here, TheLastAlexander, he launches I think it's 3 units of Latin con. 2 or 3. It's 2 actually. Of Latin con up there. He's going straight uphill, straight into the fight. Actually, I'm going to pause just so I can catch the rest of the other guys' armies. This was the Byzantine army. See something. Oh, I must have already. Yes, that is all of it. Right, so we've got 2, 1, 2, 3. It's got 4 dismounted Latin con, 3 Varangian guard. It's got General's bodyguard and several cataphractoi. Tell 2 so cataphractoi there, and then with the rest I mentioned before. This is a unit of more dismounted Latin con you must have forgotten about or something back here. In the centre we have Zitar-11. It's got 2 Gothic knights, 4 Teutonic knights. Let's see. 2, 3, 4 dismounted fewer knights. Elbow militia up front, so 4 of those. See what Puppy's crossbow. This is actually quite a good army he's got. I probably would have just got more Teutonic knights than not Gothic knights if I'd been him though. And the dismounted Gothic knights can work, but it's a bit specific. But it's a pretty good army all around. It's not a bad choice to him. And then the danger man of this team, FriedrichSmith. It's always very hard to play against. He's got the I don't know if you're watching this Friedrich, but you have the best luck with your cavalry. Always get the perfect disengagement. Like every time I play against FriedrichSmith, he will disengage his cavalry and they'll not take hardly any casualties ever. I almost never see it go wrong for him. He's got to be the luckiest player that way. So anyway, his Venus has got 2 Stradiots out here, 2 Knights Hospitaller back here, Knight mounted crossbowman there, General's bodyguard there. I was very fortunate. It's very fortunate that he only had 2 Stradiots. The Stradiots are extremely powerful. He has 4 musketeers, then he has, let's see, 4 pike militia, then dismounted, he has 4 Venetian heavy infantry and 1 dismounted broken lancer. Right, there's the armies and a Coraggio standard. So be careful because that can make a big difference. So the Swedes missile dueling away here, however he won't be getting scored of it. I don't think he probably forgot about this because I know he doesn't know this, but he hasn't put his crossbows in front of his guys, so they're firing at upward arcs, which is basically a lot worse, whereas these guys are in front, so they'll actually do better. It's catch Dave fight because it got going very quickly. he'll easily win this fight. Although once these Varangian guards come in, what Dave wants to be doing is just running up the hill, up this hill, and then turning around, charging down, just repeating this over and over again, because he'll easily waste the Varangian guard that way. But he doesn't actually do that; he gets stuck in a melee fight. The Sarsgaard are real good melee cavalry, so they'll do well anyway. Up here, Alexander did a pretty good job. He's actually slipped behind Dave's lines. So what Dave should be doing here is just withdrawing back, taking this height advantage and taking control of the height advantage. But his Sarsgaard is still going to do really well. He's got plenty of missile support here. He's healing his infantry in here. If I were him though, I'd heal them into the infantry over here against this Varangian Guard, because Varangian Guard, once they stop their charge, are not going to do that great because they're a two-hander unit. So over here, let's see, Friedrich's come up and I'm just sort of twisting my lines to match him. Does a nice move against my meat shield there. Very quick, and as you see, look how perfect his disengagement was then. He didn't take a single casualty. I didn't even have time to inflict anything with my archers or nothing. This means that the best disengagement ever. So over here though, I still off to the side when I see these halberds became isolated, so I'm going to go after them. Me and Swedes are going to try and concentrate on knocking out Friedrich's cav, because once we can get rid of his cav, because Friedrich's a pretty defensive player, he usually plays a defensive line, uses his cav to hold his defence together. So if they can get knocked out, we can do a pretty good job. Swedes does a nice job of succouring in the Holy Roman Empire's forces prematurely here, before he can get enough assistance here. So we get a bit of an even charge here. I'm trying to slip through these gaps that have appeared, but these crossbowmen are going to actually slow me down a little bit. So I'm going to begin the fight, but these pikemen are probably going to hold me out for a while, but I'm not trying to win the infantry fight because I know my armoured swordsmen, although they're good infantry, won't be able to beat his Venetian heavy infantry, but if we can destroy Friedrich's cavalry, we should be alright. So I get catches Stradiots here while they're sitting still, but it doesn't mean a hell of a lot because they still somehow turn around and win that even though they got charged. But I've left 2 cavalry in reserve, and I've left my general reserved on this side as well, which I left him to protect my archers initially because that's exactly what he's doing here, is slipping some cav around, and I'm going to try and sling them around behind him. But with Swedes helping me here, it holds up enough of Friedrich's cavalry here. I toss in my dismounted English knights here. Now I don't want to use these in the main line, I want to use these to help me against stationary cavalry, because otherwise they'll get beaten up pretty bad. Now the idea here was, I think we're trying to slip around to get rid of the standard quickly, because that'll be helping him a lot. The melee fight is pretty even. My archers are doing a nice job with the armor-piercing arrows to sort of keep that even. As you can see, Swede just quickly routed Zitar's forces. And up here, this fight is pretty even still. And as you can see, Dave should have kept withdrawing his cavalry out and then pushing them in. He might have taken 1 or 2 losses in the withdrawal, but it would have been worth it because those downhill charges would have done tons of damage. But it doesn't really matter, he's held his opponent at bay while me and Swedes can work together here. So we managed to break through Friedrich's cav. He does slip his general behind the lines, so I use my regrouped peasants to just block him a bit, as much as I can there. As you can see, I'm just trying to hold up some of his units with my peasants as well, while I quickly win any fights here. Swedes is a nice rear charge here, so I managed to break through that side, and I am working on the same thing on this side. Getting rid of that standard, and get rid of these musketeers and things as well. This is the thing with musketeers on a map like this, is if they can't get round behind the flank and get nice straight terrain, they're actually not that effective. Had this been a more even map, I would have suspected that Friedrich would have been able to mass rout my army, but his muskets were not able to get good angling shots, so that does help a lot. So I'm just going to keep doing hammer and anvils against these infantry, and he's going to do pretty much the same thing over here, which is kind of a nuisance, but we've got plenty of archers left, and even if he spends all his time firing at these guys, he's going to lose his infantry anyway. But he decides to admit defeat at this stage. But we did have a big terrain advantage. But you should never underestimate Friedrich Smith. This man is dangerous. It's the best word I can use to describe him. So up here, Dave has managed to turn the fight though, so it's a good job there. And that'll be here terrain advantage here too, because I mean with Russia, once you lose your cavalry, if you lose your cavalry when you play as Russia, you seriously are in risk because you don't have that great it's not bad infantry, but it's not great either. But what he managed to do here was he's able to keep that missile fire constant, and he still had reserved his infantry just in time there, because the Byzantine player didn't actually continue using charges of those ranging guards. Had he done that, he probably would have been able to break through Dave. So Dave was able to recover himself there quite nicely. So as you can see there, we're just running off who was left. It's always amazing how these battles go so much quicker when you do the replay. It seemed to be taking much longer when we were doing it. So yeah, I mean the advantage that we had on this map was we could get to each other's support quite quickly. Also the Byzantine player really engaged far too soon, and they were so far from each other they couldn't even help each other. So Friedrich was quite alone there, but I've noticed that, like, when you're fighting Friedrich, you can split him apart a bit. It's a little easier to stop his defences, but it's not always easy to do. So I'm just going to triple speed now, just running off routers here. So we come out quite nicely on this one. I still got quite a large, significant portion of my army alive. But a lot of support from Swedes, which is always to be expected because we're used to working together when it comes to online games. So if you want to skip ahead to the end, guys, go ahead. It's just picking up routers at this stage. I do have another 3v3, which I did with these two guys, again after this one. Actually, it might be a... Is it 3v3? It might even be a 4v4, actually. It might be, I can't recall. It's been a long time. It might be a 4v4, which are even more awesome. It was definitely at least a 3v3, but it could be a 4v4. I can't actually remember. We'll find out. I have to treat my replays. So, here we go. The Swedes was the staple there, but I mean both me and Dave carried our weight very well in this fight. Friedrich, as you can see, 600 there. Same with the last Alexander. He did do good considering his terrain disadvantage, but he did manage to slip in behind Dave. He probably, if he just used repeated charges more, he probably could have routed Dave. But Dave could have done the same thing against his Varangians with his South Guard. But Swedes took this one nicely. I got 250 captures to go with mine, so I do get the most captures, but Swedes has got quite a far lead there, so it worked out pretty well. Let's have a look. Armoured swordsmen, as you can see, they didn't do very well at all, but Venetian heavy infantry is much better, so I'm not surprised. The dismounted English knights, they help turn cavalry fights into your favour. It's how I like to use them, or use them as a flanking around the infantry force if it becomes available. Archers, as with England, is always very effective if they're given enough time. And my cavalry actually did very well this time, the Knights Hospitallers, and they got a lot of captures too, although that was most just that stuff at the end. That's pretty good for them because Stratiots would usually smash their way through them pretty quickly, so I just fortunately didn't have too many of those, to be honest. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that one. Good game to Swedes, Dave, Last Alexander, Zitar, and Friedrich. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I think the next one's either 3v3 or 4v4. I'm pretty sure it's a 4v4 actually. So I'll be bringing that to you soon, I suppose. Probably the next Medieval 2 one anyway. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks to those guys, and I'll see you soon next time.